in the studio with me. Shout out. All right. So, yes, we're having a conversation today, and we're going to have this series being able to actually bring in people to share on the conversation about sex, right? I have heard quite a number of times, people talk about the experiences they had growing up. And part of what we're doing this month is that we're also creating awareness of the different kind of experiences. So I have in the building the amazing, amazing, amazing Ife Sinachi. So yes, Ife Sinachi, introduce yourself.
Okay, this is Ife Snatchy. You all know me already, the one and only type fashionista. So I'll be sharing with you guys my experience today.
Okay, so Ife Sinachi is going to be sharing her experience and all of that with us. And she's going to be showing us, what can happen, the effect of the don't ask, don't tell. You know that don't ask, don't tell. Let me tell you guys something very funny. So my parents, something happened, and I was having a conversation with them, and and they said to me that, "Oh, are you really sure I did not teach you that thing?" I was like, "You guys didn't tell me." Most times parents actually think that they say. You find out that many times they really do not say. So my name is Wendy Ologe. I'm not going to assume that you all know me. I can see somebody hailing TIP fashionista. I see you. All right. So yes, and we have in the house, Nachi is one of us, is part of the team, the Intentional Parent Academy team, and she's going to be sharing with us. So before we start the conversation, she will share her own part of the conversation, then I will share the conversation, and then we roll. So, Nachi, tell me, what was the effect of the don't act, don't tell system in the African homes? In your home, as an example, yeah?
That's a lot because this don't act, don't tell is a lot of. I don't want to mention it, but it shaped a lot of things about me that today I did not really like the outcome because I didn't. Nobody actually taught me the things I knew today about sex was among boarding school gossip, set of confused friends, and a lot of trial and error.
Of confused friends.
So I wish there was a day I was in school and this my friends they were passing on even know or touch it or be with it or more on it, but she didn't. So
All right, so sorry about that. I think we had a bit of a loss on some of our platforms, and we're having a conversation about sex conversation, right? And we're having a conversation about the different outlooks and the different things that happened when it comes to these conversations. Okay, I want to be sure that we are live on. I don't have much on it, but I don't want to lose this conversation. I hope we should be live on the Intentional Parents Academy platform, right? Intentional Parents, all right? Are we on the right platform? Huh? All right. I want to be really sure that we are on the right platform, okay? Okay. Okay, so sorry about that. Okay, so we actually lost in some of the platforms a bit, and we are trying to reconnect in the conversation. So, even Nachi was sharing her experience about being in being in an African home where sex is a taboo, right? And she said they were passing condom around in class. At that time when they were passing the condom, did you know what it was?
I didn't know. I just saw everybody throwing it on one another.
So, but some people knew, I guess.
Yes, and I'm sure that was why they were throwing. They just wanted to see our reaction and stuff like that.
I can imagine. So of course, somebody said poor network. Yes, we actually had a bit of a poor network, but I think that is rectified now. I think about that is rectified now, and something that we're working on. Okay, so I wanted to actually find out. I wanted to actually find out in that time the people who knew what it was. Did they say?
They didn't say. They just kept making fun of us. They just loved the idea of throwing it around and just wanted to see
everybody's reaction and what it is that you were saying about it. Most of the times it's because most of us do not really understand like where did you hear about sex the first time? What was that thing that happened when you heard about sex? What did you think about it when you heard about it?
Honestly, when I was in, I think just one, they taught us about puberty, but after puberty, it wasn't still like a lot of parents believe. Don't worry about it. These things they will be taught in school. They will get to know it and all that. I wish my mom actually like confidently called me, sit me down, and give me details. But yes, puberty was taught in school. I grabbed it, but then when I was in school, there was this girl that was always she was I went to body school, is boys and girls, and we meet in the class. We sit with the boys in the prayer ground and all that. But then the girl kept mentioning manchi, manchi, manchi. Like
That's what they called it.
yes, boyfriend in school then was man.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
She kept mentioning manchi, man. I was like, "Mm-mm. So who's now your manchi?" Like it was a thing. Like you have to brag if you have manchi.
Okay, I'm learning a new one.
If you don't have
So I
manchi,
work with a lot of Gen Z, so I'm excited anytime that they say things like really. Okay, yes, we're
so if
listening.
you don't have manchi, if you don't have a boyfriend, you don't have somebody like crushing on you, coming on you and say hi, I like you and writing you letters. You're
You're
not
not
there.
part of it.
You're not there.
But that's what we're talking about when we're creating. Remember when we're writing the book, the culture, right? The book that talks about sexual
Yes.
culture.
Yes.
The culture. This is the culture.
Yes.
And if you do not, so what happened to you when that culture came on you?
It was like a pressure. Like if you don't have manchi, you're missing out. I was like, me, I don't have manchi. Nobody's asking me for manchi. I'm like, okay. So in the night after like evening devotional, people that have manchi, they start
Was it a
acting.
Christian school?
Yes. People that
Always.
have manchi, they start behaving weird and standing one side. I was like, what is this people doing? Until then, one of my hostel mates told me that we that don't have much, we have to after prep, we have to just come back and was like, so people that have match, what of the security, sort of? She now said, no, people that have match, they just know how they do it and they send letters and say, okay, so after sending letter and sneaking up, and I said, what is manchi for now? It's for sex. Like, sex? She said,
And that
yes.
was your first time of hearing the word.
After the puberty lecture that was given to me,
Okay, okay.
that
In
was
class.
the actual time I thought of, okay, so young people do, they say, yeah, sex. I was like, okay, so what is sex? And I say, have you not seen dogs? Have you not seen dogs do it? Goats do it?
Oh wow.
I
Oh
was
wow.
I was like, okay, so these people, do they actually do this sex thing in the she said, yes, they do it. She doesn't know, but she knows they do it. Me too, I was confused because as of then I was in SX1. And why are they doing all this sex thing? I had to start asking people that have manchi, and there was a whole lot. A whole lot,
And at that SS1, most of them were having sex already.
according to them, that have manchi, yes.
Wow. Okay. One of the reasons we're actually having this conversation is so that it's relatable. So if it's snatches in her early 20s, you're in your mid 20s. Yes. She's growing old on me. So I'm not remembering, right? But most of these, people I work with are in their early 20s. And when you actually look at them or when you listen to them, you begin to find out that what you think is not happening is actually really happening. All right. So a lot of parents just think my child is just in SS1. They don't know anything about sex. Because I'm not talking about it, they don't know. Right. And as at this time, had your mom spoken to you about anything sex?
You want to tell me about
Period.
menstruation? Period. She said it was like a fight. After I had mentioned what is condom, she's not always fighting things on me. She's always throwing things on me. She didn't really stick me. She just, I don't know, maybe she was angry I get to learn about condom, and then she believed I've already
Gone far. You're already not using the condom. After all, why did you talk about it? That means you're already using it if you're talking about it. So, of course, the other day we were talking about curiosity. How children come to you, they are curious about something, and then they are not able to end up, telling you. All right. So, did you ever go back to your mom again when you heard about something strange again?
honestly, because of how she treated the first question, I came to her in confidence to ask. I had questions, like plenty of it, but I had shame. I did not want to be treated like you are not the bad egg because I sent you to school, or you could. I did not summon courage to come and ask my mom. I did not even know who to ask again. No, I can't even ask my sister. I didn't know because I believe my mom
And you
was.
had older ones.
Yes, I did.
So there was no older one you could confide in at that time.
My sister will run to my mom the moment I ask her any question. She will run back to my mom. Mommy, Jesus, Jesus. She will even treat me like one. I would prefer to ask my mom instead of escalating, asking my sister, and then the whole.
And then everything now escalates eventually. I can imagine. So of course that means you never went to your mom again.
I didn't. Um, the rest of the questions I asked my friends. I checked. I always
Please,
like browse.
I want to learn about this asking your friends. What did you find out when you asked them?
They will tell you the unimaginable things. Imagine like you don't know, and you expect them not to know as much as you don't know too.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be surprised when you ask them questions. They'll be like, "Okay, you don't know about the thing. You know,
As in they already know.
they already know. Like they are, they are the ones that is already trending and on board. You're still a baby. You're still a child. You don't belong. Like you need to be that. So
Interesting.
I didn't really have anybody to actually give me proper knowledge.
So how did you now find out? So what did you after you go to your friends? Did you believe them that they had the right knowledge?
I didn't. I kept browsing, and the more you browse, the more you get curious. You want to try. You want to know. You want to. It led to a lot of.
So the other day we were having a conversation in there. I like to talk with the young people I work with, and then we're talking about conversations about molestation. Some of us said, "I've never been molested before," and then I post about two people who were like, "Okay, so if you say you've never been molested, did you ever get yourself into pornography?" And then they pause and say, "Actually, I went into pornography, started masturbation, and blah 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 blah." How did you get there? somebody, a neighbor or a friend or a cousin was watching something. So, many times I have also realized that, yes, maybe you are not even, you're not being molested, in quote, physically. Nobody's touching your body, but you're being molested,
Of course.
by the things that you're watching.
The
So, did
more,
you ever find yourself in that space?
yes, if you go to let's say Google to make any inquiry, on Google there's images, there's videos.
Mhm.
You want to get to more, you want
Video
to
is
see,
better.
video is better at expressing everything. So you want to click, 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 click. You want to know. You're curious. You sit at a point and then you're curious about something. The moment you pick a phone or pick anything that take you to the internet to make research, it will give you a lot of things. You keep clicking and keep making inquiry, and you want to, as you watch, you will be curious, you want to know more, you want to see it even display right in your eyes, you want to see the reality of it.
And before you know it, it's
Yeah.
pornography straight. And because you guys grew up in the digital world, I'm sure you grew up and saw phone. I was in the university before I saw phone.
Yeah.
Yes. In fact, in that time, it was Nokia. The phones we had didn't even have any internet connectivity. So all you needed to do was just have a phone that can ring and people can hear your voice. It was a big thing. I'm sure it's looking strange right now because you cannot believe that people ever lived. I told my children that we lived without phones. They looked at me and they said, "That's so strange. You guys must have suffered a lot." Suffered. No, we didn't suffer. We just had a good life. We didn't need to live on the phone for that long. You guys were living on the phone. We're not living on the phone. So it's become a whole lot, right, for your
I didn't
generation.
actually have phone at the time, but my sister had this BlackBerry.
So you will go to her
I
phone.
will carry the phone and I will go and hide and I will go and press and I will go and search and I will go
Wow.
and watch. So,
Wow. So so Ife Nachi is sharing with me, and she's sharing on her journey, her conversation, how she got to know about sex. Part of what we're doing this week is to bring young people who will come and share with us what their experience with their parents have been. And Ife Nachi is part of our team in the Intentional Parent Academy, and she's sharing part of her story. I think the most interesting part for me was the manchi part. I think that was interesting part of the story for me. And so yesterday night, I was having a conversation with my 15-year-old daughter. And I said to her, we're talking about, we were using the guy, the sexual repetition culture. Oh my goodness. So, when Ife Nachi was talking about the manchi thing, that's part of the sexual repetition culture. That's part of the culture that is around. That's part of the things that is happening. And a lot of the times, parents are not speaking. So the culture catches up on you.
I think everybody really needs to accept that guide.
Honestly.
If you go through that guide, your eyes will open. You
Yeah.
will see real things. You will, sometimes I think most times my mom is there. She doesn't even know what I'm doing. Like nobody's asking what I'm doing.
Nobody's asking you.
Nobody wants to know. I'm doing the, like, I'll be on my face quietly, but nobody wants to know. Like the whole thing. Most times I don't even have to like hide
anything. You just need to be in your corner.
I'll just be in my corner and
do what you want to do.
Nobody notices.
I think that this is a huge pointer. But she's there.
Yes.
Physically present.
My mom is present. She shows me she cares for me and she loves me. She's always caring for me. But it's deep.
I know. And I think that the people who raised us and the people who raised a little bit of the people in your generation, because I know that you have older ones who are in my generation, and the people who raised us couldn't be there emotionally. They didn't have it.
Yes, because if my mom actually connected emotionally,
she would have
screamed at me when I
Yeah.
asked her that question.
Yeah.
She would have dragged me closer, sit me down, and we would like have the real conversation I was actually anticipating to have, because that's actually why I asked.
And if you had gotten that answer from her, would you have gone to ask any other person?
Honestly, there wouldn't have been reason why I should go back to school and start asking the people that actually brought that thing in the first time. Say, why people that thing you people were throwing on us was
exactly.
When I started asking, they were laughing like heavily on me. After laughing, then I started talking. I was like, and then there was like plenty names for it.
You need to see my office right now. Everybody's trying to giggle and they're trying not to giggle. Tomorrow I'm going to bring you Chinedu to come and share his experience. He's right in this room and he's like, Okay. Yes, I'm bringing him. Come and share his experience with you because I really want us to have hands-on experience on what it is that the young people are saying. I do not want us to be lost. For me, one of the greatest takeaway is my mom was really present. She was there. I knew she loved me, but she didn't really have what it takes to be able to connect. She didn't have what it takes to be able to share with me what it is that I needed to know. I know even Snatchy was talking about the guide, the sexual repetition culture, 100 silent pressures children face about sex and how to help them. If Ife Snatchy doesn't share this story about that pressure, because that was a lot of pressure.
Yes, it was because all that belong, follow, and
It's
why
a
why you
lot.
guys laughing why are you laughing at me? I don't know about this thing, and I'm asking you people, you are laughing at me. Why?
Mm.
And I really wanted to belong. I want to know now. Why would everybody be treating me like I'm still a baby, I'm still a child when I'm not?
Exactly. And teenagers hate it when you tell them they're a baby.
That's it.
So they must do everything to
There's
level up.
there's a pressure there. You want to push, you want to be there, you want to act like, and like a lot of things that my classmates did when we were in school, because from JSS1, JSS2, JS3, there are times when the school were on holidays, everybody had to travel, except for the SS2 students. They are doing their
The
exams,
exams.
the lessons for preparing for the exam. Yes.
Yes.
During those periods, a lot of things happened. Parents don't want to know about this thing. And if you're not like this manchi thing, really, it was a thing in my school. And if you do not have manchi or somebody to, okay, let's even think about during val, nobody's bringing you plenty gifts, nobody's sending you things, you're missing out. There's a lot of pressure that comes with I need to have manchi. I want to sit or stand when others are standing or sitting or talking. Like it was really a lot. It wasn't all these things were not even necessary. But among us then it was a big thing. We just want to, and what did we achieve?
Mm.
You know,
I can imagine. And in retrospect, you're looking at it now and you're saying if
because
somebody had told you some of these things, it would have been
easier for me.
easier for you to be able to navigate. So tell me about the good girls that were under that pressure, that sexual repetition culture pressure. What happened to them? Did they succumb? Did they survive? What happened to them?
A lot of persons in my school then used to act like, you guys, I can't do this. I'm a pastor's daughter. At the end of the day, if you're not, I don't know, this topic is so big, you guys. The ones that are not following Manchi, they are getting busy with other silly things that is not even still worth it.
Oh wow.
In the school, if you're not following the men, maybe you're following the women.
Mm.
I found out that one of the girls that kept acting like she's the righteous one, this girl, I don't want to ever relate with her if I had known. Because I kept seeing her like the good person. I kept seeing her like the righteous one. But when I came to learn what she was doing, it
Oh, wow.
surprised me because I realized that none of my classmates then was actually righteous in code. The good girls were busy doing the dirty things with the other girls. So nobody was actually safe at this point.
Wow. So that's an interesting. That's the other part.
That's the other part.
That's the other part of the conversation that we all don't bring to them. You see the conversation about girls and girls, boys or boys. So a girl comes out and says, I'm a virgin. The other day I was teaching, I was talking about clinical virginity.
Most of us were virgin actually. Most of the girls
Yeah.
were virgin.
Yes. You've not had sex, but
You've not had sex.
every other thing.
You are not following man.
But you're following men.
You are
The
following
same
men.
thing.
You are not
Why is Chinedu laughing? And it's the shock on some of my team members for me on their faces. Like, what's happening in this room? You guys are in shock, like, really? Why? And I'm sure that a lot of parents are listening to us now. They're like, okay. So that's why I'm not saying it. I know that these things happen. But of course, if I come here now on stage, you say, no, she just wants to talk about it because she wants us to join sex educate your child like a pro.
This is my experience.
So I really want you to talk to, is it because your mom didn't know what to say? Or is it because, why couldn't she tell you about sex?
Even understand. Maybe she was afraid. I'm not supposed to learn what I was learning at my age.
Okay.
Or maybe just didn't know how to go about the conversation. I didn't get why she was avoiding the whole conversation. And when she finally decided to have the conversation, she was
Punches at you like you're the one that. Interestingly, that's how parents have this conversation. How did you, where did you do that? You went that way with one boy talking. You're going over the head of the child.
My mom added me a prayer
Now that's a thing. Like
point.
really?
Morning devotion, and my mom was praying. She created a prayer point for me personally
For seeing condom.
for seeing condom.
Wow.
So if you could tell me how, I should have gone back to her to ask more questions.
Exactly. There was really no how. There was no how. And that led me to more curiosity.
I want to know now.
Yeah.
Everybody have known.
And then you're not laughing. And you don't know. Like, why would you know? You got to know what it's about. So, parents are listening to us now. We're just sharing these experiences for you to know that there is depth in whatever it is when it comes to conversations around sex, educate your child like a pro. If it's not, you just talk a bit about sex conversations. You've worked, at the Intentional Parents Academy. You've witnessed two sex educate your child like a pro challenges, and with the knowledge that parents get. Tell me what could have been different.
A lot of parents go this thing the wrong way. Most times you actually think you are saying the right thing or you are doing it the right way. Because according to my mom, if you ask her now, she'll say,
She's the best parent.
she will ask me, oh my why you don't go close to a man.
That's her own.
And me, I wanted to know what will happen when I go close to a man.
I know.
I believe that a lot of parents should have seek knowledge, learn how to say these things, what to say,
Mm.
and when to say it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a way to go around everything. You don't need to know it. All you need to do is seek knowledge. You are not born, nobody's born with. If my mom is born with it, she will actually do it better.
Exactly.
So there are people who have this knowledge, who have this best idea. Come close and seek from them. The sex educate your child like a pro is a very even me. I thought my mom was actually doing the right thing until I came into this space. If you had allowed me, I would have still gone
parented and still done the same thing.
If I like because this thing is from my mom, then it extends to my elder siblings. I have an elder sister, like elder sisters, because my elder sister, one of them, then like she's always on game now. She had immediately there was BlackBerry. My uncle sent phone. She had it, everything she used to have. Yeah, I want to be like my sister. I want to be up there too. And
So you needed to find a way.
so I believe if parents do better on this sex education, sex conversation,
Yeah.
your children will learn from you. My sister would have been my safe haven. I would have gone to her.
I know.
I would have confided, but she won't do better. She will run and escalate things and make me look like I'm the evil person. So,
and since you didn't want to be the evil person,
I'll keep it to myself and go and ask outsiders. Check the internet, watch video and all that.
And always veer off the wrong way.
And then it will lead me to a lot of these trials and
errors. Yeah.
But I believe that if with what I know now, I have come to learn that me myself, I can actually educate my younger ones, younger generation. I could see the younger girls, my younger sisters, my niece, and I will call them close and I will give them what it is that they need to hear, the right thing that they need to hear. I will tell them what it is that it entails. You don't need to give your body out to be loved. You don't need to show anybody. You don't need to like bring your body to show anybody how to love you. That's not necessary. You will learn how to say no with consent. You will even learn how to go about protecting yourself, especially for the ladies.
Alrighty, so this is so interesting because this Nachi is not a mother yet. Even I'm dragging her. Let me not bring out her leg here. Yes, and I'm sure you're looking at her. You're thinking, is she my sister? Yeah, she kind of yeah. Tell her, yes, she's my sister. All right, so thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to let Yvette Nachi go, but Yvette Nachi, tell parents who are yet to join the Sex Educator Child Like a Pro, what do they need to do and what is it that they are going to gain by joining Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro 5.0?
Sex educate 5.0, teach your child like a pro, is very important for everybody, not only for parents. Honestly, if you ask me, because with what I know now,
And even as a young girl.
it's not only for parents. Everybody needs to educate your child like a pro for yourself. Because even as grown people, most of them don't know this knowledge. They don't have this knowledge. They are
I
still
agree.
making mistakes and moving
I
on
agree.
and trashing themselves.
I agree.
And it doesn't have to be that way. Everybody needs it. Your uncle, your sister, your daughter. Everybody needs this course. And it's not only for parents. The earlier the better. Protect your children. Teach them how to go about protecting themselves as well. And let me tell you, if you teach your daughter the right way on how to go about this whole crush thing, this pressure thing that is
Yeah.
happening in the real world, they can as well change their circle. They will teach their circle as well. Because most times it's not you,
The ripple effect.
it's the influence.
Honestly.
So
Honestly.
it's not this thing about me now. Yes, I do not know, but because my friends know, I want to know too.
Yeah.
But if you teach your children, if they come into this space and they learn better, they will teach their circle too. They will tell them what it's right for them to do. And let me tell you, in as much as you think their friends and they have gone far, they have spoiled, they can't change. When you hear the right thing, your mind will keep telling you, no, this is the right thing. With time, you adjust. That's it.
Awesome, awesome. And if you've not joined the Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro, all right, challenge you, all you need to do is to put course in the comments. I'll say yes. Once you say yes, somebody in the system will reach out to you, can share details with you. You've heard from Ife Sinachi, being someone who is even young, who is not married. You know, sometimes I envy the young people that I work with because the things that they've actually learned, I wish I learned it when I was single before I had a child. Imagine now you have so much knowledge, you know, before you even become a parent. So there are some errors you won't just make.
That's a serious flex.
You know,
being into this space before you
now that's a serious flex, and I agree. Thank you so much, Ife Snatchy, for sharing with us. This has been, I actually wanted the conversation to just continue going. Who agrees with me that Ife Snatchy should come here very often? Yeah, I think I will be dragging her very often here. Just get ready. All right. Thank you so much for sharing with me and for being here. So if you have just listened to us, you have just listened to Ife Sinachi. Ife Sinachi was sharing her story on what conversations should have and shouldn't have, and all of the things that you need to do. All right. All you need to do if you have not joined Sex Education, somebody say, I agree. In fact, you have a lot of fans on TikTok. They said, I agree, bring her. So do you agree that we should bring Ife Sinachi often? If you do, say yes. If you say yes, trust me, I will bring her very often. But you don't even know, you've not met the other people now. So come on, how can you just decide on one person like that? You're going to love Chinedu tomorrow. Trust me, you will. And he's literally on the floor laughing it off, right? If you have not registered for Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro, simply put a yes in the comment section. Trust me when I say that you need to actually be part of this whole thing, right? We sat down in the inner circle. We have this thing that we do with, daily tools that we do in the academy. And yesterday we sat down. Somebody said, "I like her smile." We sat, and I've been coming here every day. People they have not told me you like my style. Look at them, sellouts. You've not told me you like my smile. I be all of a sudden you not like her smile. It's all right. So say bring all of the team. Somebody say bring all of the team. I'll bring all of them. But bottom line is please be part of this conversation. Be part of Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro. All you need to do, right? All you need to, somebody said, I've already registered for the course already. If you've not registered, say yes. If you're watching us on TikTok, if you say yes, the team reach out to you now. All right, send you all the details. All you need to do is to pay 5,999 instead of 15,999. That 599 expires today. I'm very sure. Why we have some slots remaining is because somebody yesterday paid the balance, right? Paid the balance of the increase and say, no, don't increase it. Allow 500 more people to pay. As we speak, we have only 100 slots to go. If you are able to get that now, you will get those 100 slots and then you will get it. But before we leave, of course, I'm going to just, teach a little bit before we leave so that you can just get something, all right? And then something you can go with. And then, of course, we have the don't ask, don't tell system in African homes. Even Nigeria have been able to actually put a lot, right? Put a lot of perspective to it. She shared, if you were not here, she said, and if you have not shared this with a family or a friend, you are doing yourself a disservice. There's something she said that was very instructive for me. She said something that I just can't get over. She said, if you teach, it even though there have been a lot of mistakes I've made, but I've come into here, I have learned so much. And because I have learned so much, I have also now carried it on to start influencing the circle that I know. So it doesn't even matter if your child have not been, learning a lot, right? Or doesn't even know it. You think they've gone far. You still can do a lot now. And the most important part is, are you learning? Are you willing to actually go all out to learn? One thing is very instructive is the way that we actually allow our children to be able to come to us to give this information. And there's another thing she said. She said, my mom was there, very present, but she didn't have content to give me. So I lost it. I asked questions where I shouldn't. And I spoke to people I had no business speaking with. She said, my mates actually, that you think that they don't know anything, came with baggage of information. So share this link with someone, click that share button, share now, so that somebody will come and actually, listen to this conversation and have quite a lot to actually, take in, right? If we grew up in homes where you don't ask questions about sex. The moment you begin to ask questions about sex, you are bad. We grew up in a home where the moment you begin to, if you don't tell somebody if something inappropriate happens. Some of us, there were near rape experiences that we never spoke to anyone about. I had near rape experiences, right? And my own was even interesting. I told my father that the reason nobody ever heard that I was almost raped by a priest was that if I had told my father, he would have killed the priest. My own was the other way around. My father would kill you, and then he would go to prison. Since I didn't want my father to go to prison, I kept quiet. I'd be right. So, because it's the same thing, two extremes that do, children, a disservice. So you don't express emotions freely, right? You are just told, just say no, but you are never taught no. How you should actually do it in real life conversations, and these are the real issues. So you learn the silent rules: keep quiet, keep secret, even the dangerous ones. Feel shame. There was something she said when she was talking. She said there was shame in the system. So I was ashamed. I didn't really speak up. So there was a level of shame that also was inside of it. All right. So, and then you stay silent when you're touched inappropriately. Most of you were touched inappropriately. You said nothing to anybody. And the interesting thing, she said something. She said, you will replicate these same things you think wasn't right if you don't learn anything better. So if you're a parent listening to me, you haven't registered for Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro, all you need to do is to say yes in the comment section. Now, here is the kicker. The kicker is that Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro is going to give you free materials today. As you register today, you get something you can use to talk about these conversations today. Number one is the digital molestation guide. 100 ways your child gets abused digitally and how you can prevent it, right? How you can prevent it. And that 100 ways, one of the things I wrote were the things that, Yvette Nachi was actually talking about, the things that happen online and how you're actually going to be able to prevent it. If you're watching me on YouTube, all you need to do is to get the description in our description or on my screen, all right, since we can't reach you when you say yes. So it is very important. And then you also get what we call the sexual reputation culture. God, coach, the fast life we're currently experiencing now distracts our young parents so much. I agree with you, Mr. Humphrey. This is, so key. We're so fast. We're so, instant. We're so fast. We are having a lot of, things happening, and we are not sitting at it to actually give our children this attention. If you haven't registered, all you need to do is say yes. The team reaches out to you, share the details with you, and you will be able to actually get all of the details that you need. All right. If you're watching on YouTube, all right, you need to respond to them. They need to actually look at the details on the screen. All right. So, and then when I wrote sexual reputation culture, when I wrote that, one thing that I am looking at was just what she shared. She shared that at a time, just because you didn't have a boyfriend was a negative thing. Very, very, in fact, that experience, that experience, it shook me. So everybody comes on you as if they are like a nobody. Now, are we preparing these children to understand that this is actually a thing? Nobody is saying anything to us. Nobody is saying anything to them. How will the children know that it's actually a thing? So, sexual repetition culture, one of the things I did in the guide is to write 100 silent pressures, 100 of them, 100 silent pressures children face about sex and how you can help them. That was the silent pressure. Her mom didn't know that she was having a silent pressure. Sadly, but true. Sadly, but true. And there was something she said. She said the good girls were not left out. It's unfortunate. The good girls were not left out because they now had to go through the other part of life, which is now doing all sorts of things with the girls. Now, do you know it's worse? Do you know why it's worse? As much as we blame our parents and say, oh, they didn't do it right, they would have, we're not learning either. We're not doing anything differently either. I tell you of a truth. I've seen that happen over and over again. We're not learning anything differently. We're just there. Okay, we're just there telling ourselves that, oh, this thing, I don't really have time. Now we're talking about sex educate your child like a pro challenge. And a lot of people are telling us, I don't have time to actually join. It's a thing. People are asking us, so when will it at what point? Hey, we're not learning any better. So we will make same mistakes even worse. Do you know why we'll make worse mistakes? Because the problem is, the only reason we're going to make worse mistakes is that when it comes to these conversations about sex, right, we'll make worse mistakes because the devils that we're fighting are now more. We're fighting bigger devils. Our parents didn't fight as much devils. When she was talking, I remember that I didn't see cell phone until I was in university. So imagine these children. And she said, I just Googled away. Whatever it is that I wasn't said, that wasn't told to me, I Googled it away and I found answers. Our children are finding answers everywhere. And we're not ready for the conversation. We're still, and because some of us were molested, some of us don't want to talk about sex, we even run away from the conversation. That's a really big deal. So if you've not registered, all you need to do is say yes or send us a DM, all right? And so that you can get details on how you can be part of Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro. Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro gives you access to 2 different master classes. The first master class is, sharing about the different things, right? About the one we did in 3.0. You will listen to it today. Today is not tomorrow. As soon as you register today, you get access. You get access to those 3 books. And if you have younger children, you will have that helping your child navigate their first crush, right? And then you would also gain access to the digital molestation guide, to the sexual reputation guide. You will gain access to these 3 guides. And then there is still another masterclass happening at the end of the month. At the end of the month, you have access to that masterclass, and you will be able to attend those 5 live masterclasses. Everything I have told you, all you need to pay is 5,999. But here is the kicker. The real price is 15,999. If you miss joining in today is, we've been announcing this price change since, but after today, it moves to the next price. All right? It moves to the next price. So if it comes to the next price, that's what you're going to pay. Let me look a bit in the comment section. If you have questions, you can actually throw it up in the questions. And if you haven't registered for Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro, put a yes. The team reaches out to you now so that you can take advantage of the 5,999 now, not tomorrow. All right? I hear Ruth. Ruth says, this matter of parents turning talk window to boxing rings for fighting themselves pains me. Children are curious and they're falling out of order because parents are busy fighting their own trauma in the name of raising the children. This is so true. All right? Many times you find out that the problem is you. The problem is not, the problem is not the child. All right? And we're responsible. We're very responsible. Somebody said, almost every demon of condom fall and die. I'm sure she was referring to when Yvette Naji said her mom turned her into a prayer point. All right. Modish collection, somebody has reached out to you and sent you details on how to actually make payment. And if you're looking at this, you will have a link right on this stream that tells you about how to register. Chiso said there's no message in my DM on TikTok on how to register. Somebody will reach out to you now. All you need to do is say yes. If you say yes, somebody will reach out to you, or you can look at the details that is on my stream. All right. Somebody said, God help us do it right. No, don't call God. Oh. For those of us that are calling God, don't call God. We are already helped. We already helped. The problem is that we do not want to take the help that we have. We need to actually begin to look at the things that we're doing currently and do it differently. All right. We must be ready for this conversation and we must take it heads on. If Yvette Nachi's mom had learned this, I'm not sure she would have the same experience. So now you see, your experience is according to who raised you. Your experience, somebody help me put that in the comment section. Your experience is according to who raised you. You cannot have another experience outside of who raised you. That's it. You cannot have another experience outside of anybody. Any time that someone raises you, that's the experience that you are going to have. So the experience is about who raised you and what the person who raised you know. What do you know? The differentiating factor is what you know. Is what you know. So your child will make judgment calls according to your knowledge bank. Somebody help me put that in the comment section. Your child will make judgment calls according to your knowledge bank. Your knowledge bank is what will actually determine the judgment calls your child will make. Your experience is according to who raised you. Because if this young girl that came today, right, to come and actually share with us that her mom had a little bit of this information, she said, my experience would have been different. Your child's experience will be different if you know better. Your child's experience will be different if you know better. So don't tell me, no, it's not about who raised you. Oh, have you not seen people who they raised in village? And let me say this. Parental intelligence has nothing to do with you knowing book. There are people who have gone to school, no book, but they have no parenting intelligence. Parenting intelligence is a thing. Most of us do not have parenting intelligence. Even if you're joining us now, I want to appeal to everybody. Go back on our Instagram page, on our YouTube page, and watch this conversation again from the beginning. Even me as a parent, there was so much for me to pick out. The question will be, when you pick it out, will you know what to do with it? So the next time that, hey, I see you, man, Pina Chichi, thank you so much for being here, man. The next time that you actually think about your parenting, you must think about the experience your children are having. So I wrote a book called Parenting Advantage. I should have a copy here, don't I? All right, please help me bring a copy. Right, I have a book called The Parenting Advantage. I wrote it last year. And one of the things that I said in the Parenting Advantage, all right, it's fine, Oiza. All right, one of the things I said at Parenting Advantage book, inside this book, was that you are a product of who raised you, how you were raised, where you were raised, and what the person who raised you know. That's the truth. So if my mother knew a little bit more about the things that I'm talking about today, my experience would have been different. My experience would have been different. But my experience is no different from the knowledge this woman had. What experience are you creating for your child? That's my question today for you. And that experience can be anything. Your sexual reputation, culture. What experience are you creating for that child? Think about it. Your children are a product of your knowledge bank. What knowledge do you have? So if you think about the decisions you made about sex growing up, it was according to the knowledge that the person who raised you gave you. And she said proudly, if my mother had given me better knowledge, or any of my parents, and she said, even if my elder sister, who was way, way older than me, had a bit of the essence of being able to actually tell me something, I would have made better choices. Many times you actually think that the problem is that children are not being told, or children are not, or children don't know. They can't just know. You must come to the line. All right. They say come to equity with clean hands. Me, I say come to parenting with impact. If you don't come to parenting with impact, you will ruin the life of your children, literally. And it's not even a matter of, it's not even a prayer point. So after Vivek Snatch's mom put her in prayer for seeing condom, every fire of seeing condom, and after that prayer happened, tell me what else? The girl still went on searching what she needed to search, being able to see what she needed to see, and boom, that led to more curiosity. So are you that person? You are praying, you are firing. You saw your child watching porn. You are praying and firing. Don't get me wrong. Prayer is good. Prayer is beautiful. But beyond that, or much more than that, you must do something. Prayer is work. What work are you putting in? That's the question that I'm asking you today. What work are you putting in? All right? What work are you putting in? So somebody said, please, I paid for sex educate your child like a pro, right? How do I have it? Just send details of the number to the team and they will answer you. And if you not make payment, all you need to put in the comment section is say yes. Say yes, the team will reach out to you. Today, you get 3 guides that's going to help you start your journey. We're not staying tomorrow. You will start it today. It doesn't matter where you are. It's a virtual program. We have people in the UK, in the US, in Canada, everywhere. Talking about Canada, we are hosting the Intentional Parents Academy Summit, Canada, for the first time on the 5th of July. I will be in Canada. Boom, boom, boom. I'll be in Calgary. I'll be in Toronto. Yes, I will be in Calgary for the TIP Summit on the 5th of July. And I will be in the US, right? I'll be in the US on the 12th of July for TIP Summit 2025. I would also be in the UK in October if you're in the UK. So relax, we're coming to all of the places, right? So we actually run a global system. So we have parents in Canada, we have parents in the US, we have parents in China, all right, and all of that. If you want to be part of Sex Educate Your Child, all you need to put is that if you put a yes, the team will reach out to you. It doesn't matter where you are. It is a virtual system. Humphrey said, I want to make payment, please. Somebody will reach out to you, or just look at the screen and you will see the details right on, pinned, somewhere. Humphrey said, Coach, what you're talking about required so much intentionality. I feel for single dads. I agree with you. If you're a single parent, you're a single father, you're a single mother, one of the things that you want to do is to get yourself into a learning system. There's too much to learn. Don't leave your parenting to chance. It will chance you. If you leave your parenting to chance, it will chance you. Everything you leave to chance doesn't matter. This is luck. You don't really know, God will help you and all of that. You don't know where your children will end up after you have. How will you not know? When I hear that thing, it scatters my head. How will you not know where your children will end up? Like, really? Why? Why are you guessing? If your parenting is still guesswork, there's something wrong with that parenting. Put my name on it. My name is Wendy Ologe. Your parenting is you're still doing guesswork. There's still a lot of guesswork. There's still a lot of, you trying to actually, do things, you don't know where you end up. No. You're guessing. You're guessing. And time that we have a conversation, yesterday, we had a conversation with our daughter and our son differently. So we usually have sex conversations together, sex conversations separately. We teach all that, all right, in Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro. And when we're having the conversation, I was telling her, we're talking about sexual reputation culture. I think that most parents miss sexual reputation culture in their conversation. You see that in the person that you talked about having a man you don't have, or sleeping with a girl, you're not doing anyone. You be the odd man out. We're not talking about it. What's the culture? What's the sexual reputation of the place your child is in per time? Do you know? Are you finding out? Are you teaching differently? Are you teaching differently? Or are you just assuming that there's no culture? In every system, there is a sexual reputation culture. And if you do not have that culture to deal with and teach, it will overwhelm you. All right? So you will read and you will find out that 100 silent pressures children face about sex and how to help them. All right? This is where I am going to call it a day. If you haven't registered for Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro, you are the one doing yourself. All right? So that you can learn. How do I put this culture? Do you know that part of sexual education culture is that girls are selling their eggs today? That's part of our culture today in Nigeria. And if you do not know it, if you've not started having the conversation, you're wrong. Come closer. You're wrong. You're already wrong. You're already wrong. So if you haven't joined, say yes. The team reaches out to you, or as we're closing, you see the details, write in the comment, or send us a DM. If you send us a DM, you have all the details. Remember that paying 5,999, right, is finally today. After today, you don't get to pay 5,999. Is the culture in Western world different from that of the African? So when it comes to every environment, it's not really about Western world or no Western world. You know, on TikTok, all right? It's not about Western world or no Western world. It is about the culture in a particular place. I live in Abuja, for instance. Part of the sexual repetition culture in Abuja is, egg harvesting. I live in Abuja. Part of the sexual repetition culture is drug. So it's environmental based. When I was writing that Educate Your Child Like a Pro Volume 3, right? I talked about how environment is one of the biggest conversations in sex that we're not having. We're not having it. I love that question, that someone asked me. We're not having that conversation. And because we're not having it, we're making a lot of mistakes. What you should teach, there's a way there are things you must focus on in every environment where you find yourself. If you fail to do what we call mapping of your environment, you will fail at this conversation. So you will fail. And I'm sure that parents in the inner circle understand it. You will fail because that's what the mapping is about. Mapping is for you to understand, where am I per time? How does that affect the people I'm raising? Again, you are a product of who raised you, where you were raised, how you were raised, and what the person who raised you know. So where you were raised is a determining factor. So if you do not create system of the mapping system of where you are raising a child, you will definitely fail. And that's one of the things that actually, dealt with my parents, with many parents in our generation. Many parents in our generation didn't understand the environmental factor of where they lived. I learned it from my dad. I remember that when I started to, parent, my father told us a story. He said, I moved into a particular environment when I just started having, children. He said, well, I've only had one child and I saw the environment and the children and the things that happened there. He said, I mapped out the environment and I realized I can't raise my children in this environment in the now at their age. And it was that mapping that made him take that decision. And he said to us, be careful where you live when it comes to 0 to 10 in the life of your child. And if you're being careful, doesn't mean, you need to live where you live, right? It means that you need to have an understanding of the environment per time. All right, this is where I end. Okay, so for those of us who are asking about joining the academy, you can join the academy. Just register for Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro. You can also join us in the annual program that we run. It's called the Inner Circle Program. The Inner Circle Program is our annual program. We run it every year. You can also get copies of my book. I have, in case you're joining me for the first time, all right, I have different books that you can also use. Discipline is not an emergency. I have the book From Yelling to Come. You can get them on Amazon. I have some of my favorites. I call them the Raising series. Okay, I have 5 in this series. I have 2 more coming this year in the series. So we have Raising the Emotionally Skilled Child, Raising the Trophy Child, Raising the Girl with Sense. That's another book. Raising the Independent Thinking Child, Raising the Boy You Don't Need to Bail Out. I don't even want to start talking about all of the conversations around these books. Okay, so let's just leave it. Connect to Correct. If you are struggling with parenting, that's where to start. How to love your child more, solving family problems through effective communication, walking your child through puberty, all right, resolving sibling rivalry, and parenting launch plan. Of course, I also have a legacy book. that I wrote just this year because I just turned 40, and I shared about me in my legacy book. Is also available for you to get a copy. All of these books are available on Amazon. Most importantly, get yourself into Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro. That offer ends today. Instead of paying 15,999, all right, instead of paying 15,999, you get to pay 5,999. All right, 5,999, and that offer ends today. After today, you don't get the price, you pay 15,999. And the good thing is, you still get all of these guys: the digital molestation guide, 100 ways your child can get abused, and what and how to prevent it. All right, and then helping your child to navigate their first crush, sexual reputation culture, 100 silent pressures children face about sex, and how to help them. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Mr. Humphrey said, Coach, the books are massive. Well done. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for your being here. We'll return here tomorrow. I told you I'm going to bring you Chinedu, right? So when you come, just ask me, is Chinedu here? Yes, he also looks like my brother. So you love him too. Thank you. All right. See you guys tomorrow, and have an amazing, amazing, amazing day.